This particular program is damn near the perfect program. We're using two tools, kettlebell and the heavy club. Very simple to use, not easy. There's a complexity associated with them. There are a few fundamental movements that we'll be covering with each of these tools, 6 with the kettlebell and 9 with the heavy club. And we'll go through those. And there are instructional videos associated with these movements here. What makes it a perfect program? What makes these two tools a complete system? If we think about the nature of the human body, okay, we are training for general physical preparedness, the ability to do anything when asked to or when forced to, and lastly, when we choose to. There is no negotiating with your body or the circumstances. When you go, and you can go well. That's one idea. The other idea is that if you end up in a scenario that is not your choosing, that you will be capable. You will be capable because you're training in such a way that your body is going to be used to these movements. It can be explosive when it needs to be explosive, and it can endure when it needs to endure. Here at Hard to Break, I have been putting together a training philosophy and a style of training that is fundamental to human nature and human movement. So let's start there. The human body, okay? The human body can only move in 6 directions, 6 ways of human movement. You have the hinge. Think about hinging at the hips. I have videos on the hinge. If you don't know how to properly hinge, go find that video in a playlist on the Hard to Break channel. The hinge is the most important human movement you can perform. It is also the most powerful. You can produce the most power output from this specific movement. Next, we have forward and back movement. We have forward and back movement. Think running forward, think running backwards, think walking lunges, reverse lunges, that type of thing. And then we also have side to side movement, lateral lunges, lateral shuffles. Sports athletes do this all the time. Very rarely does anybody in everyday life do this, but they should, because the human body has a whole plane of movement associated with lateral movement. Next, we have up and down. Think squats, think jumps. And then tilting movements. Humans are designed to carry heavy shit and walk long distances. Sometimes most things in life are non-symmetrical loading, right? We live in a world now where we like to go to big box gyms and we lift equal weight dumbbells and we lift equally weighted barbells, and it's symmetrical loading, but that is not doing anything for our body, which is cross body stabilization, right? That's what really makes you hard to break, is that when you have one weight on this side of your body is flexing in such a way where it's trying not to break in half and preventing you from falling over. So we have tilting, and then we have rotating, twisting at the thoracic spine again. 6 are, we got the hinge, we have the forward and back movement, side to side, up and down, tilt, and rotate. The human body can only move in 6 directions. Now, okay, so that's one aspect of it almost being a perfect program. Perfectly designed for human movement, covering all areas. Next is that the human body can only move in 3 planes of motion. We have the sagittal plane, forward and back movement, up and down. Then we have the frontal plane, which is side to side movement. And then we have the transverse plane, which is rotational movement, right? So the human body can move in those 6 different ways within those 3 planes of movement. And now the style of training that we are building here at Hard to Break, it covers all 3 areas in which you can train. So you will have, when training kettlebells in clubs, you will have an endurance day where we are doing hundreds. We are doing hundreds of reps in one set. They're unbroken, right? 500 reps is a good starting point, is a good benchmark to determine how conditioned you are, right? You're going to be you're going to be taxing the central nervous system, all three different systems that produce ATP, the fuel for your muscles, and you will get some pretty extraordinary adaptations occurring in your body from that, especially with the heart, the lungs, cardiovascular engine, the muscular adaptation, the tendon adaptation, the mental adaptation of learning how to endure, right? That's important to some professions, especially the ones in which I work, which is law enforcement, special operations, military, that type of thing, right? Also, if you're a badass dad, right? You want to be a badass dad, a protector. Learning to endure is a positive skill set to learn. Now, that was endurance. You're also going to have a strength day, which is 5 to 3 reps with a heavy ass kettlebell or a heavy club. And in between those 2 days, you are going to have a power day, which is you are going to, every single movement is going to be as explosive as possible. The output is going to be as fast and explosive as possible, utilizing as much energy in that one specific movement as possible. That is a perfect program. We cover the 6 ways that human bodies can move. I'll say them again. You got your hinge, you got your forward and back movement, up and down, side to side, your tilting and your rotating. 3 planes of movement that the body can move within: a sagittal plane, frontal plane, and the rotational plane, the transverse plane. And then you are going to be training these in the fundamentals of human movement, fundamentals of kettlebelling, fundamentals of heavy club, training endurance, power, and strength. Power days fun because it's speed and quickness. Strength days, you're going to get strong as shit. The great thing about kettlebells and clubs, right? Moving through all these different ways of movement and the planes of movement, training lightweight endurance and power and strength, you're going to be hard to break. And the fact that if you're in martial arts, good luck having somebody break down your posture. And you will be training a single non-symmetrical load on one side of your body, cross body stabilization happening all at the same time, both directions. You're going to get healthier in the fact that you will be creating adaptations from your body from all of the oxidative stress. You're going to be creating more mitochondria, which is slowing down your aging. Your left ventricle on these endurance days after training that way for 3, 6, 9 months is going to start expanding. You have more cardiac output where your heart can just push out more blood. Your VO2 max is going to increase. You're going to be training a lot of the posterior chain of the body, which one can take a lot more stress than the anterior side. You're not going to be feeling like garbage a lot of the times, especially as we do when we train our quads or our chest. We wake up in pain. And perfect program. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Grab a kettlebell, learn how to use it, become strong, learn to endure, and become hard to break. That's the goal. Live and move well into our 80s. So I'll see you next time.